Now let's take a look at how to create a flip chart page that pulls content from your students to help introduce a concept. So let's take a look at a blank page. I've got a very generic page set up with my header already. And so I want to introduce the water cycle, but again, I want to pull that content from students rather than pushing things at them that they may not really get. To do that, I'm going to use some images that are readily available already in ActivInspire, which is great, in my resource browser. So I'm going to go to View and Browsers inside ActivInspire, and I'm going to make sure I'm on my shared resources. So I clicked on these three heads right here, and I'm going to type in the words water cycle and press the play button to see what comes up. You'll notice a lot of resources come up down here, and all I do is when I find what I want, I can just drag it onto the page. So I happen to know that there is a pretty good diagram that relates to the water cycle already here, so I just clicked on it and drug it out onto my page. Once I get it onto my page, you can see it's kind of large, so I'm going to push it up a little bit, and if I use the bottom right hand handle on this image to click and drag, I'm dragging up and to the left. I can make my image smaller so that it fits in there a little bit better. So again, I can make it larger, smaller, whatever I want. When I'm ready, I'm going to right click and select locked so that I lock down that image. You'll notice in the top right hand corner I am in presentation mode, which is blue, so everything is frozen when I lock it down, and that's kind of nice. Now I've got a nice blank space here where I want my students to write some information, but I might want to kind of focus their attention on that area by putting a rectangle there and then labeling it. So I'm going to choose the shape tool, and I want to let's make it a rounded rectangle. That'll be fun. And again, I've got my color palette here. I think I'll use this kind of yellowish color, and I'm not going to worry about the interior color. I'll dump in some color later. So again, I'm going to come over to my flip chart page, and from the top left to the bottom right, I'm clicking and dragging. Once I have that where I want it to be, I release. And you can see up here at the top, since I did a rounded rectangle, I've got a little yellow square that I can change, allows me to change how rounded my corners are. So if I click and drag, I can change the rounded nature of my corners. Now I'm going to use the fill tool, and I can change my rectangle to whichever color I want. Maybe I don't like that purple on the inside. I want it to be the red, and I want the line to be red as well. Or maybe I might try this yellowish green. Maybe that's a little better. And again, I can, when I use my select tool, which is the arrow tool, I can right click and lock down that rectangle so that it doesn't move. Now I'm going to select my text tool, and I'm going to add some type, and you can see that's way too big, so I'm going to make the font much smaller, about a 26 maybe. Add some text. You'll notice when I add my text, it goes out into outer space. As soon as I adjust the width of my text box, that automatically turns on text wrapping. So if I kept typing, it would automatically go to the next line. If you don't adjust that text box, the width of the text box, then it will just infinitely go out to the right, which is not always what you want. So I'm going to position that text where I want it to be positioned, and go back and get the select tool, which is my arrow tool, right click, and again select locked. Now I can add just a few drag and drop tools onto there to make this even easier. So I've got my resource browser open. Again, if I had closed that down to go to your browsers, I'm going to go to View and Browsers, and I'm going to select the Action browser, which is the sixth one over. The Resource browser is the second option over there at the top. So the Action browser, and I've got two tabs at the top. I'm going to select Drag and Drop, and I'm going to just drag the Select tool on there somewhere, the Pen tool, and the Eraser tool. And that just makes it easy. When a student is up at the board, they can automatically change to the Pen tool or to the Eraser tool right there. They do still have to use the main toolbar to adjust their width if they want to change that, but it does make it nice to be able to switch back and forth, and that's really handy. So that's how to make a flip chart that just introduces a simple concept.